All right. We welcome you to another edition of Instigator Mick here. I'm your host, Mickey Jordan, bringing you another show here. As tonight, same as usual, we talk about preview both college and the NFL previews, like both this week, And also right now, I got the Sabres on. It's tied at 2 currently in the second period, so I'll give you score updates while I'm watching the Sabres game. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting show tonight. Lots to talk about tonight. The trade deadline was yesterday. First thing everyone wants to know is the Bills. Yeah, it did make some good moves. They did talk about. I mean, they did acquire like Leonard Fournette from the Buccaneers, who was currently in the practice squad, running back there. Which I think I'm fine with it, but we'll see if he enough juice left in the tank. We'll see how he does there. And secondly, yesterday we got Rasul Douglas from the Green Bay Packers, which I think is a great move because we got a lot of guys injured from that possession. Like at the cornerback position. With Tre'Davious and the season-ending injury and all that. Elam kind of being a bust, so I think it's a good idea bringing Rasul Douglas. He's actually a pretty good playmaker from Green Bay. Sucks to be any Packers fan right now, especially my dad and my brother. They're not happy about it. Sucks to be a Packers fan because we stole one of their best defensive players. I mean, he's a good playmaker, so I think he's going to fit well with the Bills. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. He's just going to ball out just to show, like, hey, things didn't work on Green Bay. He did great as the most he's played because their teams passed on him, like when he's on the practice squad. But hey, the Packers gave him an opportunity, and look what he's done. He's done so much success to them now. He's on a Super Bowl contending team. Finally, being on an actual good team because the Packers had a rough year this year, so good to have him. So yeah, that was been going on. I improved, obviously. I improved this week in the picks this week in Uncle Mike's pool. I finished with a +3. I'll take that, and I finally won my pick of the week for the first time in over a month. Got the Chargers won. Because I'm about to say, if I was to say lost another pick of the week, I'd be pulling my hairs out for sure. Like, ugh. Thank God I finally won a pick of the week. And I beat Max by a game, I barely beat Max in the college football picks last week, so that went well. So I did that. And yeah, so I did well in those ones. But let's get into college football this week. Let's start out with tomorrow's game, the Thursday night game here. Wake Forest at Duke. I mean, who do I like in this one? Duke just got shut out by Louisville. Wake Forest, meanwhile, they got blown out by Florida State. I don't know I like in this one, but I would take Duke. I would take the Blue Devils. I think Duke beats Wake Forest tomorrow. Riley Leonard's still good. They'll win for sure. So Justice joined the show. I see J-Man joined. Hey, how you doing, guys? How you doing? Spears, Bills Talk, and Cuber. All you guys joined. This will be a good show tonight. But all right, let's move on to the Friday night game. Boston College at Syracuse. This will be an interesting matchup because Syracuse started out the year 4-0. They have won a 4-game losing streak. Of course, let's talk about last week's Syracuse game. They got beat by Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech dominated Syracuse from start to finish. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 consecutive 3-and-outs. I just couldn't believe how dominant Virginia Tech's defense was, forcing 8 sacks. But Syracuse, they look rough. They look like they're not going to make a bowl game if they keep this up. Boston College is playing better football. They're 5-3. This one I had trouble picking, but I'm gonna go with Syracuse this week. Despite them losing the hope, despite my team whooping their ass, I mean, I feel like Syracuse finally gonna get off the losing streak and win. They're gonna beat Boston College. I really think they're gonna find a way to win somehow. Boston College is great. Don't get me wrong. They're better. They're much improved. But I think Syracuse is gonna find a way to take care of business, win in the Carry Dome, get off the losing streak, get their 5th win. So I like the Orange this one. To move on to the next game, the Ohio State Buckeyes at the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. This is an interesting matchup because let's talk about the playoff rankings, how that turned out. Ohio State is the number 1, the college football playoff initial rankings. That was last night. The playoff rankings came out for the first week of the season, first time. We've seen those. Ahead of Michigan, which is, I think it's good because Ohio State has a perfect resume right now. Have a better resume than compared to all of the other teams that are in the ranked. For sure, because Ohio State had 2 big wins. A road win in Notre Dame, they're ranked, and all that, and beating Penn State a couple weeks ago. Ohio State, but thing is, this is going to be a tough road test this weekend in Rutgers. I mean, probably Ohio State will still pull away, but I'm saying this Rutgers team can run the football well. They really can. Because I've been there. I've been to Rutgers. I've been to that stadium before when they played against my team. They ran the ball really well against Virginia Tech. They really just dominated us most of that game. I gotta say, when I was back in September. I'm just saying this Rutgers team is a lot better than a lot of people thought. A lot better team. I mean, this is a really good team. So, I mean, the thing is, if Rutgers pulls this off, it would make Virginia Tech's loss to Rutgers not so bad. Being the number one team in the nation. So, but I'm still going to take Ohio State. They'll win, but they'll win barely. Rutgers is going to give them a close game. They're going to give them a scare. I really think so. They're better, much better team, especially on the road, too. I tell you, this is on the road for Ohio State. This is going to be tough. I like the Buckeyes still, though. Next, we got a crucial matchup in the Big 12 here. Kansas State at Texas. Of course, Kansas State is the current Big 12 champions. Texas looks to take the reign this year. I mean, I'll interested how that goes here. Oh, we got a little pushing, shoving going. The Sabres game I'm watching now. Yoki Haryu's getting into it now with the Flyers player. If anyone's watching that, that's on TNT for most of the country, but except on the Buffalo area and the Western New York area, you can get it on MSG in the Sabres area. But back to the Texas game. Texas, their only loss this year was the Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. That happened. K-State's playing better, but I think Texas is going to get it done at home. They're going to take care of business. They're going to beat Kansas State. Show they are a legit playoff contender still. So I'll give you the Longhorns in that one. Next, we got Notre Dame at Clemson. This one's kind of a tricky game to pick, because Clemson's been up and down struggling, but Notre Dame's finally getting it together after those two losses they've had. Notre Dame's playing better football. I mean, they put up 58 points against Pitt last week. They just won by 51 points in that one. Do I take the Irish this one? Because Clemson's had some struggles, and of course, Dabo Swinney's having issues with fans on his podcast. I remember on a call-in show there, he had issues there. He got mad at his own fans because, I mean, the fans, yeah, I get it. It's frustrating. But the thing, it's frustrating seeing what they're playing like. Rutgers, I mean, Clemson's not living up to potential this year. So I'm going to take the Irish this one. The Irish take care of business in Death Valley. I really think Notre Dame wins this one. I think Notre Dame takes care of business tonight. I mean, in that one. Notre Dame takes care of business Saturday against Clemson. So I like them in this one. Oh, I can't wait to get in this next one. Virginia Tech at Louisville. This could be an interesting matchup here. This is a big one for the ACC right now for a chance to go to the ACC championship game against Florida State. Virginia Tech is playing better football than anyone else in the country, even though I shouldn't say that because I'm being biased because my team. But Virginia Tech's playing well, trying to get, especially at the right time, trying to get to an ACC championship game for the first time in 7 years. So they're playing better football. Their offense is explosive. Their defense is just absolutely dominant. My Hokies looking great. But they got a really tall task. They are 10.5-point underdogs in Louisville on the road. Louisville's a great team. They just shut out Duke, like I said at the beginning of the show. So I'm saying that's a good Louisville team. 7-1. Their only loss was the Pitt out of all teams, which is surprising. But they are ranked in the playoff rankings. They are number 13. So this could be a potential to be an upset alert. I feel like I could see. Despite the spread, I think Louisville's on upset alert. I really think Virginia Tech's going to find a way to win this one. I'm going with my Hokies. I think they're the more desperate team than Louisville. Louisville's going to not take us seriously, and Virginia Tech's going to come out there and just dominate like on all cylinders. I mean, they're just going to dominate on offense, defense, even on special teams. Give me the Hokies in this one. Here goes another 3:30 game. Florida State at Pitt. Florida State, yes, they are number 3. They are number 3 in the playoff rankings. I think number 3 or number 4. They're in the playoff rankings. They're in the top 4 initial rankings. We'll see if they can continue that way. This could be a trap game for them because they got Miami next week. Of course, that's always a big one because it's a rivalry game. So it could be a trap game for them. But Pitt is having a bad year, 2-6 on the year for Pitt. It's at home, yes. It's a tough road game for Florida State. But I really think Florida State dominates again. I'm enjoying the failure that Pitt's having. I hope my buddy Max Garvin hears that because I bet he's frustrated the way Pitt's been playing this year. Because if Pitt loses this game, they'll be out of they'll miss the bowl game this year. That means because you got to be 6-6 in order to make a bowl game. So I'm saying if Pitt loses one, they're done. They'll miss their chance to make a bowl game pretty much. So I like Florida State easily. Florida State's going to take care of business. They'll focus. They're not going to be focused on Florida State. I think it's not going to be tracking. They're going to take care of business. This is a very bad Pitt team. Florida State should drop 50 or 60 points on them. I got the Noles big time in this one. All right, you got Penn State at Maryland. This one's a trap game for Penn State possibly because Penn State's got Michigan next week on the road too in Maryland. So this be tough because Penn State hosts Michigan in Happy Valley next week. But they got to look forward to Maryland right now because Maryland's a tough team. They got Tua Tagovailoa, Tua's brother, as the quarterback for Maryland. Penn State had a little scare from Indiana of all teams, but they barely won. They only won by 9 points. They didn't cover the big spread. I mean, it was a closer game. It was a closer game than experts think. I couldn't believe it. I thought Penn State was going to roll in there, be fired up after the Penn State loss, but nope. They barely beat Indiana. They struggled. They had their struggles against them at home too. But I'll still take Penn State. They'll win, but not. It's gonna be a close one because Maryland's a lot better than everyone expected this season. Especially what Tua's brother could do. He can just throw the ball just as good as his brother. I can tell you that right now. So I got Penn State in this one. Very big matchup in the SEC this week. Decide that division, the SEC East here. Missouri at Georgia. Missouri's actually ranked only one loss. I mean, Missouri can still have their chance at the playoffs. If Missouri wins this one over Georgia, man, that means it'd be a historic ending of that winning streak, but also could have a great chance of representing their division, the SEC championship game, and also representing the playoffs. Even imagine that Missouri beats Georgia. I don't know. It's in Georgia, but Georgia's been long overdue for a loss. Last week, I thought Florida was going to beat them. No, Georgia made a statement. This is in Georgia, but I really think Missouri is a lot better team than most people think. Missouri is living up to. I mean, they're exceeding their expectations. This Missouri team is just goodness. I'm telling you, just don't count them out. I like them. I think they're going to beat Georgia on the road. I really think they can. I got Missouri as my upset pick. I don't know why I do. I mean, they're ranked. They are ranked. They are in the playoff rankings. They only have one loss. They still have a great chance. This is a good team. It's a better team than most people think they are. I got Missouri in the upset. Georgia's going to just still be. We'll see how the status of Brock Bowers, how he's going to be this week. But Carson Beck is just showing he's a good quarterback. But I like Missouri in this one. That's the upset pick. There we go. I got a call coming here. Hello?
Ricky.
What's up, Uncle Mike?
Hey, I want to hear what your thoughts are on that cheating program out of Ann Arbor.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Dreams.
I think it's ridiculous what Michigan's doing, personally.
Yeah, so do you think Harbaugh's behind it?
100%. I think that Michigan's team's suspicious. I think they should get a postseason ban.
Yeah, so what should happen to him?
He should get fired, definitely. Or I think he should get fired, personally. They gotta let him go. Michigan's got to
now or after they win the championship?
I'd say do it now if it gets worse. I mean, it's already getting worse. But Central Michigan now is saying stuff about this now. Yesterday, I heard.
It's good. I don't know if you're tracking the Sabres game. It's between periods right now.
Yeah, it's 2-2. I saw the Yoki Haru fight. Like, he was pushing, shoving a little bit.
Good. All right, man. Well, great show, and I'll listen to the rest.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time. All right. So, yeah, I got Missouri this one. But this is a really good one. This next one. This will be the last time these two rivals will meet because Oklahoma is moving to the SEC next season. So, this might be the last time you'll see Bedlam, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. It's going to be interesting how that goes because Oklahoma leaving the Big 12 to go to the SEC next year. So, enjoy this one. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, it's going to be weird not seeing Bedlam unless they find a way to do it on Thanksgiving, which would be great. But still, it's going to be rough not seeing that because that's a really good rivalry. It's always entertaining. Oklahoma, yes, they came off a tough loss to Kansas last week. I called it from the show last week. I knew Kansas was going to beat Oklahoma, and they did. I knew the Jacks were. Oklahoma State playing a lot better. They're in the playoff rankings too. There's a couple ranked teams there. Who am I going to take? I'm going to go with the upset. Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma fails to make the playoffs. They're going to lose, and they'll lose in the Big 12 championship game. Unless that, of course, I kind of like to see Kansas in there. I like to see Kansas. Texas, honestly. I like to see Kansas be in the Big 12 championship game. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma, their momentum is just shocked after losing to Kansas. Now they got to go into Stillwater, into Oklahoma State, and lose in the final meeting of the Bedlam for a while. Got to cut with something. No one can beat them on the field. That's true. That's true with Michigan. That's true, Justin. Michigan is suspicious of what's going on with them. I'm interested how that situation is going to turn out to be. How Michigan will be. Of course, Michigan got Penn State next week. But yeah, I got Oklahoma State beating Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's done. Especially what we saw in that Kansas game last week. What we saw there. Now let's go on to the primetime games. Washington at USC. USC has not been playing great. They barely beat Cal, who was not that good of a football team as they used to be in the old days. When Aaron Rodgers was there and Jared Goff and all that, Cal was actually better back then. They were relevant. Rodgers was there. They're known for great quarterbacks for that college. But Cal has not been the same since. It's like guys like Aaron Rodgers not being there anymore a long time ago, but it's not the same. But still, USC barely won. They're playing some terrible football. They're getting lucky, but they also had some bad losses along the way too. I mean, USC is not playing up to their expectations. What about Ohio State? I mean, they're playing good. I mean, Ohio University, they're playing great. The Buckeyes are looking great this year. Ohio State's looking good this year. I actually picked them to win this week over Rutgers. And of course, Ohio State's got a rivalry with Michigan there. Spears-Bills. Yeah, they got a huge rivalry. So Michigan, Ohio State, one of the biggest rivalries in college football. I can't wait to talk about that eventually. But I got Ohio State over Rutgers in that one. But let's back to Washington USC. Pac-12 is getting some more respect this year. This is the last year of that conference before all the teams leave and all that. But they're getting so much respect. A lot of teams in the playoff rankings. Washington's been the better team. They're left out of the top 4. I think they're going to be motivated. They're going to come into LA and beat USC. Give me the Huskies this one. Washington is playing some really good football. Michael Penix for Heisman right here. That's my Heisman hopeful. That's what I got to win the Heisman. Michael Penix. Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. I got him. That's my Heisman right there. Give me Washington over USC. Last but not least, this is like where college game day will be at this week. Alabama and LSU. This game's in Tuscaloosa. I mean, Bama, could they really be? Are they still good? Are they still good? I mean, LSU beat them last year. Think about it. I had trouble picking this one because every time I picked against Alabama, they've won. I'm sticking to it. I think LSU's been the much better offense. I think they're the better team. Jaden Daniels is gonna put on the show, and this Alabama. Their offense is finding ways to win. I mean, their defense is tough, but I think Jaden Daniels just balls out and finds a way to win in Tuscaloosa. Give me the Tigers. I like LSU. I'm telling you, this LSU team has Alabama's number. They're gonna beat them again. Just watch out. I mean, this is where Alabama missed the playoffs the second straight year. This is how they missed the playoffs last year because they lost to LSU. It's gonna happen again. So I like LSU in this one. Now I have my college picks. Let's move on to the NFL ones. Let's move on to MSP this week. I won my pick of the week last week. I found a way to win that one. I mean, not win the week, but like +3. I found a way to win. I got a +3. I finished positive. I won week 3. It was. Let's see if I can finally win my second week this season. I mean, I'm trying to win a week again. That's the goal. I mean, I want to at least win one more week before I get in the play. If I make playoffs and all that, but I'm doing better. I mean, I had a lot better outcome the week before. Let's look at my picks. Let's start with tomorrow's game. The Tennessee Titans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are favored by 2.5. Oh, yes. I'll answer that question. I'll go like, who's in first place? None other than the commissioner of MSP, my Uncle Mike. He is the currently first place. Took over first place because originally, I was in first place at the beginning of the year, and then all of a sudden, my dad's girlfriend Jill took over. She was Jello Doc, for MSP. She moved up first place. Then last week, Mike had a better week. So Uncle Mike, Air Jordan, aka Air Jordan, jumped in first place. He is currently your leader in MSP. So yeah, it's competitive. It's mostly been a lot of members of the Jordan family that's been taking control of first place. It's been a battle for that. First it was me, then it was my dad's girlfriend, and then now it's Uncle Mike. So it's pretty much anyone that I'm associated with. It's always just getting in first place right now, which is great. But all right, back to the Steelers-Titans game. The Steelers are favored by 2.5. They are without Minkah Fitzpatrick, so the Steelers without one of their key defensive players. They're without that. Mike Tomlin said Kenny Pickett is going to play. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be a full go this week. He's going to play. Meanwhile, Tennessee Titans, they look great. Will Levis made his NFL debut last week. He just looked phenomenal. 4 touchdown passes. He threw 3 of them to DeAndre Hopkins. So if you're a fantasy owner for DeAndre Hopkins, you were pretty lucky last week. But yeah, Titans look great in those Houston Oilers uniforms when they beat Atlanta. I lost that pick, but I had trouble picking this one. I'm going to go with the Steelers. Still, they'll cover. It's in Pittsburgh, so this is what makes this pick so tough. Because if it was in Tennessee, I'd be taking the Titans. But it's in Pittsburgh. They still got T.J. Watt. Kenny Pickett said he's going to go. But Deontay Johnson's looking great. This will still be his 3rd game back from the injury. I like the Steelers this one. I can't talk about the Steelers a lot more next week because I'll be going to the game. We'll get more of that later next week. But yeah, I got the Steelers. They'll cover the 2.5 point spread. They'll win by a field goal. On to the Sunday games. First, the 9:30 a.m. game. Levi listened to his elder and threw the man the ball. That's right. Don't give D-Hop the ball. That's the biggest thing. If the Titans want to win tomorrow, you got to give DeAndre Hopkins the ball still. Just like the Falcons game. Give him the ball. Feed it to him. But all right, the Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a 9:30 a.m. game. It's like, oh, it's a London game. Nope. It's going to be in It's going to be in Frankfurt, Germany. It's going to be in Germany. This will be the second straight year NFL's hosted a Germany game. There'll be 2 Germany games this year. There'll be one next week as well. But yeah, this will be a really good one. For an international game, this will be a really good matchup. Tyreek Hill against his old team, the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's be a good one. Old teammates collide. The Chiefs are favored by 2.5 in the spread. I had mixed emotion on this one because the Dolphins are explosive, but the Dolphins, they struggle against teams with winning records this year. Let's think about it. Both the losses came against teams with winning records. The Bills and the Eagles. I'm going to take the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to bounce back after a bad loss to the Denver Broncos. So I'm going to take the Chiefs this one. They'll win in Germany. They'll shut Tyreek Hill up. They'll beat their old teammate. Mahomes and Kelsey, they're just going to ball out internationally and win this one by more than 2.5. They're going to cover the spread easily. Oh, I can't wait to talk about this one. LA Rams at the Green Bay Packers. I mean, both teams are struggling, but the Rams are they're in a tough division, but they are still having a tough schedule. 3-5. Packers are 2-5. Packers are worse than the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams. They'll win Lambeau. Matthew Stafford, he's got his targets. He's got Puka Nacua as a rookie there. He's been surprising everyone this year, and he still got Cooper Kupp. So I like the Rams this one. Packers are going to get a lot worse. They're going to drop to 2-6. They look terrible. Jordan Love is not the guy. They're just looking terrible. So I got the Rams easily. Though the spread's 2.5 favored by the Packers, but they ain't covering. I got the Rams for sure. Next, get the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals at the Cleveland Browns. That's to be interesting for the Cardinals now because yesterday in the trade deadline, Joshua Dobbs, their starting quarterback, the original starting quarterback since Murray's been out for a while, got traded to the Vikings since Kirk Cousins got injured. So yeah, it's been interesting at the trade deadline there. So they'll start this quarterback named I think it's Clayton Turner. He's starting, but they're trying to get Murray back in time. They're trying to rush him back. Murray might be back next week or the week after. So yeah, but I think the Browns are favored by 7.5 at home. They should win easily. They're gonna have no problem with the Cardinals in this one after having a heartbreaking loss to the Seahawks. They're gonna have no problems this week. It's at home. They'll easily beat the Cardinals. They'll cover the 7.5 point spread. You got the Seattle Seahawks at the Baltimore Ravens. This is a really good matchup here. I like this matchup. Of all the 1 o'clock games, this is a really good one to watch. Seahawks have been playing good football. Currently first place in the division since the 49ers lost 3 straight. The Ravens are leading their division. They're playing good. Got another call coming in here. Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. How you doing, Q?
Pretty good. I want to call and talk about the Denver Broncos.
Oh, I can't believe them last week.
And coming off of a couple of big wins.
Packers and then the Chiefs.
Do you think they can make something out of this season?
I think they possibly could. They got Russell Wilson, their quarterback. They got some weapons for sure. I mean, receiving and all that. And they got a good defense. And they got Sean Payton as the head coach.
Do you think it's a fluke, or do you think this team could put something together? Russell Wilson at quarterback. Do you think he's still elite?
I think he's still elite. I think he's starting to show it. I mean, finally beating the Chiefs, and they beat the Packers the week before. I mean, this team's starting to show some growth. I mean, they still got to play the Bills. I think next week, then next Monday night, the 13th.
I agree. I think Denver's going to go on a tear. I think they're going to make something out of this season.
They are. I mean, they're legit good now. They're starting to turn it around. And they got the right coaching for it too. So yeah, I think you're right. The Broncos are going to be on a tear. I agree. They could give my Bills a bunch of fits too. So yeah. I like that take. I love it. That's a pretty good take because the Broncos, they came out of nowhere. That's right. And they got the bye week now. They got momentum going the bye week because this week they got the bye week. Next week they play the Bills in Buffalo. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But back to the Ravens one. The Ravens are favored by 5.5 at home. This is a tough one because I picked against Seattle. I mean, I struggle with it because Seattle, I like, but Baltimore is playing some really good football. So I gotta take the Ravens. They'll cover the spread. They're gonna dominate the Seahawks. It might be a physical game, but I like the Ravens. I really like this Ravens team. The way they're playing. Lamar is starting to feel like 2019 Lamar, like an MVP season. I think he's feeling like that again. He's starting to get some of that vibes now. Especially adding some weapons to him and getting that contract. This Ravens team's playing really with something on they're playing with a chip on their shoulder right now. I like the Ravens. This next one's a tough one to pick. Minnesota Vikings at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are favored by 4.5. They just made a quarterback change there. They're benching Ritter this week and starting Tyler Heineke. So Heineke's been good in Washington. I mean, this one I had trouble with because now the Vikings got Joshua Dobbs. They're without Kirk Cousins for the year now with a torn Achilles. So I had trouble with one, but I'm going to go with the Vikings still. They still got Jordan Addison. They got Alexander Madison. They still got some good weapons. And they got TJ Hockenson. So I think the Vikings come up with big momentum after 2 big wins in a row, beating the Niners and beating the Packers. So I got the Vikings in Atlanta in this one. Despite, Taylor Heineke's going to put on a good game. It's be close, but Vikings find a way to win on the road. So I got the Vikings over Atlanta. This one's another interesting one. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Houston Texans. Bucks keeping it close to Buffalo last week. They made it interesting. Baker Mayfield looked better than he's been. He's playing really good football because he's got two of the best receiving duos, one of the best receiving duos in the league right now, and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. But the Texans are favored by 2.5 at home against Tampa Bay. Texans came off, losing to the Carolina Panthers. The Texans lost to the Panthers, and the Panthers got their first win. But I'm going to take the Buccaneers. Texans don't cover. Bucks win this one. Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans, they just go on a tear in Houston. Bucks are going to show they're a better team in Houston this one. I like them. All right, the Washington Commanders and the New England Patriots. The Patriots are playing a little bit better lately. They did beat the Bills, but they lost to the Dolphins. Washington, meanwhile, kept it close. They kept it close, I guess, last week with the Philadelphia Eagles again. They came up a little bit short. Washington makes some big moves in the trade deadline, getting rid of their 2 best defensive players. They get rid of Chase Young, who's now on the 49ers. And you got Montez Sweat going to the Chicago Bears. So they lost a couple key defensive players. But I am going to take the Washington Commanders in this one. Their offense is still good. Sam Howell, he just keeps showing that he's their guy for Washington. He might be the franchise quarterback maybe. Unless it could be 1 year wonder, but Sam Howell is pretty good. He is good. He's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in this league right now. I like them winning in New England. They beat Belichick pretty easily. And this one right here, I can't believe you guys be shocked. This one. This is my pick of the week. I'm going with the Commanders for my pick of the week. The spread's 2.5 favored by the Patriots, but I think the Commanders win this one in Foxborough. That's my pick of the week right here, fellas. Washington right here. Next, you got the Chicago Bears at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are favored by 7.5 at home. Bears, meanwhile, looking rough. They did get some key players now. They did get Montez Sweat in the deadline yesterday, but Saints are too much. The Saints are going to cover the 7.5 point spread. Alvin Kamara looked phenomenal. Him and Derek Carr, they looked great last week in Indianapolis. They put up an offensive display. So I like the Saints this one at home. They'll make it look easy against the Bears. It's the same outcome as the Chargers-Bears game last week, so Saints win easily. But let's move on to the fork. Let's move on to this one. The Colts at the Panthers. Originally, this matchup would have been Anthony Richardson versus Bryce Young, but Richardson season-ending injury there, so it's Gardner Minshew against Bryce Young. So, Minshew Mania, I think it's going to strike. They're favored by 2.5 on the road. They'll cover. They'll win by field goal. I got the Colts over the Panthers. Panthers ain't going to win 2 in a row. Minshew Mania strikes. You got John Taylor's trying to stay healthy now. And Michael Pittman, I'm telling you, the Colts look great. They're going to look better than last week. They're going to beat the Panthers pretty easily. Let's move on the 4 o'clock ones. The New York Giants at the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a toilet bowl game here. Raiders, they kept it. They made it interesting with the Lions at first, but then, the Lions pulled away. The Lions showed the Lions were too much for the Raiders to handle. Frustration for Devontae Adams. And now that Jimmy G is not the starter, it's going to be Aiden O'Connell that's going to get the start this week for the Raiders. So making quarterback changes there. See how it is for, what do you call it? Devontae Adams. See how comfortable he can be with Aiden O'Connell now as a quarterback now. So frustration season for them. I'm going to take the Raiders this one. They'll cover the spread. And it's a G-man. So the Giants now, Tyrod getting injured. So they're on their 3rd string quarterback already. Giants can't have the quarterback stay healthy, it feels like. They're getting cursed. Daniel Jones got hurt in the Dolphins game. Last week, Tyrod gets hurt in the Jets game. Now, down to Tommy DeVito. They don't stand a chance against Max Crosby in the Raiders defense. I get the Giants this one easily. So I can't believe Aiden O'Connell's going to start, but he looked all right against the Chargers. Remember that. He kept it close with them. But all right, let's move on to America's game of the week on Fox. Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. This will be a really good matchup. This really could determine the NFC East right here. Who's going to take control of that division? Eagles beating Washington 2 close games in a row. And obviously Dallas, they're looking okay. They put on a clinic on the Rams last week. This will be a really good matchup. the spread's 2.5 favored by the Eagles. I say Eagles cover. They're gonna beat Dallas on home field. So I got the Eagles this one. Oh, I can't wait to talk about this one. Sunday Night Football in Cincinnati. Bills at Bengals. I mean, I can't talk about it at the same time. It's going to be bizarre playing this game in Cincinnati because last time we played in Cincinnati, DeMar Hammond collapsed in that game. It was a Monday night game last time these two met in prime time. Of course, I was last time these met was playoffs, but last time they met in the regular season, last time they met in Cincinnati was that. That's all I think about still. You think these two teams going at is that. And it's an amazing story. DeMar overcame it back on the field. He's been inactive, but he's currently having an illness right now. Got another call coming in here. Hello?
Hello?
All right.
How do you think about Brandon Beane?
I think he's a genius. I think he's still a genius. He made a good move yesterday, picking up Rasul Douglas. I'm very happy with this one.
What does your Packers starter think about us taking his cornerback?
I mean, he just knew we're giving up at this point, but he's like, I can't believe you guys got one of my best players.
What did you told him?
I told him, it feels like the Bills are known to take some of the best Packers defensive players because we got Micah Hyde, 2017 it was. Yeah, we got Micah Hyde, remember, from the Packers when he used to play for the Packers. That's where we got him from.
I think the Bills are back in the Super Bowl run.
I think so, too, and this game's really going to show it this weekend against the Bengals on Sunday Night Football.
And do you know what the new new cornerbacks to do?
Yeah.
I want him to have a pick six against Joe Burrow.
We got a score alert. The Sabres just scored.
And what about the Broncos?
They're playing better. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Packers. They got the bye week. Of course, the next time the Broncos play a game will be against us on Monday Night Football next Monday night, the 13th.
I think we're going to beat them.
I still think we could, but Broncos might keep it close with us. I really think this is a better team, much better team they were.
How do you think? How do you think about Josh Allen not practicing today?
It's kind of. I want to rest him up a little bit. Kind of concerned, but at the same time, I think he'll be ready to go. I think we're just resting him today.
Josh did a press conference today.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be good. I think he's okay to go. I think he'll play still.
And I can't wait for your substitute on the show Friday night.
Yeah, I got family in town for that one. That's right.
I can't wait for it. Who do you think's going to fill in for you?
I don't know. I'll think about it.
And go Bills.
Go Bills. But all right, back to the Bills game here. The spread's 2.5, favored by the Cincinnati Bengals. Here, so this one I had trouble picking too because Cincinnati played amazing, great football last week. Probably their best game of the season last week against the 49ers. So Joe Burrow just looked like Joe Burrow like from last year and the year before. So Joe Burrow's just slinging it, man. He's just throwing like left, right against a really good defense. But I'm gonna take the Bills still. Bengals don't cover. Bills find a way to win Cincinnati. It's maybe bizarre for them. Playing that stadium, we know what everything happened there back in January. But I got the Bills this one. They're gonna shut Joe Burrow up. They're gonna shut this Bengals team up. We're gonna overcome that playoff loss and get after them there. So I got the Bills on Sunday night in Cincy. All right, last but not least, the LA Chargers at the New York Jets. Jets are playing good. Last week they won an ugly game against the Giants. A lot of punts in that one. Meanwhile, the Chargers put up an offensive display here. Another call coming here. Hello?
Hey, what's going on, Mickey?
How you doing?
Great. Now, do you think Buffalo made the deals they needed to stay relevant in the playoffs?
I think so. I think they could definitely. I think they made a deal. Rasul Douglas is a pretty good player.
They've struggled the last few weeks, both offensively and defensively.
That is true. They have struggled. We looked a little bit better in the Bucs game, but they let the Bucs come back in the second half.
Yes,
I couldn't believe that. I think this week is be complete.
Josh came out pretty accurate. The offense could move the ball, but we did not do well against the Giants or the Patriots.
Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. Bengals are a tough game this week. This is going to be a tough one, man.
And then another thing, who do you think was the biggest winner with the trade deadline?
Ooh, I honestly think it's still the 49ers.
Yeah.
Getting Chase Young.
They've struggled the last few games. I think they found the pieces they needed.
Adding Chase Young to that pass rushing, that's going to be a dangerous defense come playoff time.
Him with Bosa on the outside, wow.
Well, yeah, they're scary. They're a scary team.
But, all right. I just wanted to see what you thought about that.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Have a good one, Mick.
Hey, you too. All right. Buffalo's going to win, but I think the Chargers are going to cover the 2.5-point spread against the Jets. The Chargers should win this one, but it's going to be close. They'll win by a field goal. They're going to keep it. I mean, the Jets keep it close, though. I feel like the Jets are going to keep it close, but the Chargers still cover the 2.5-point spread. Chargers, I got them winning this one, but the Jets defense are going to give Herbert a bunch of fits. That's my opinion on this one. But there's your predictions this week. I got a score in the Sabres game there. Sabres we're tied at 2, and until we scored a goal there, Owen Power got a goal. So I'm happy about that. Sabres are winning now. But all right. Thank you all for your time here. Thank you all for joining in tonight. This is a great show tonight. So thank you all. I'll see you next week for another great edition of It's Gonna Mick. Enjoy your football weekend and enjoy the rest of the Sabres game, folks. Good night.